Hey there, it's Laura Williamson, and this is Bear Speak. It is so good to have you back with us today. We have an exciting guest today, but before I introduce you to Stephanie Brown, let me tell you who I am. I am Laura Williamson. I am a Pilates instructor, personal trainer, nutrition coach, and Reiki practitioner. So I consider myself a health and wellness enthusiast, but so much more than that. I'm also a personal cheerleader to many, and I'm here for you. And because I'm here for you, I have Stephanie with us today. Stephanie is going to talk to us about all things, how shall we say, dating like, and specifically today, it's how to date at any age. So I don't care how old are you. I don't care if you're 20. I don't care if you're 50. I don't even care if you are 60. We're going to go through it, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to dig in and get real. So this is not going to be your basic show today. This is going to be a show that's going to keep it real. We're going to talk about hard facts. We're going to talk about truths, and we're not sugarcoating anything today. So if you're ready for it, stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Hey, this is Laura Williamson. This is Bear Speak, and we are back. And I'm introducing Stephanie Brown. Stephanie, hi, how are you today?
I'm wonderful, Laura. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Stephanie, because I'm introducing you by name, I'm going to let you introduce everything else. Can you please tell us about yourself, what you do, just basically who you are?
Wow, yeah. So I'm Stephanie. I have background in mental health and body work. Like you, I have many specialties. So I guess what I sum myself up as is relationship, intimacy, coach, guide, more of a guide than a coach. I am a somatic body worker, which means I help work on issues in the tissues. I am also a Reiki practitioner and have extensive background with energy work and energy healing. And I also facilitate speed dating events.
Oh, okay. So I'm just going to jump in on the speed dating right away. So when I heard about this, Tantra, speed dating?
Yep, speed dating with the tantric twist of doing different intimacy exercises. So whereas the old school speed dating was you sit with a stranger and make small talk for 3 minutes.
Okay.
And that can be a really long 3 minutes if you have nothing to talk about. So with the tantra speed dating, it is in a modernized puja ritual, which is about connection. Tantra is about weaving together the divine feminine and divine masculine. So there's different guided prompts. It could be a vulnerability exercise, share a vulnerable truth about yourself. We don't jump right into that one, but it's like a progression of exercises and activities that really help people drop in. So we start with a prompt. It could be, we're going to do a gratitude practice for a minute, go back and forth about what you're grateful for. And so that helps people feel comfortable. And then they get to do the chit chat for, a moment or two. So it's designed to help people drop in deeper. So even if they're not making a match, they're getting the benefits of an energetic healing ceremony.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So people don't leave feeling like, whoa, I didn't meet it. I mean, some people will leave feeling like they didn't meet anyone. But it's, those moments of connection, those moments of sharing an energy of you may not meet that person again or see that person or desire to become friends with them or date them outside of the event. But in that moment, you can truly see someone.
Okay. So then I'm going to go backwards just a little bit. Tell us, what do you do? And we know you're a coach.
But what
you did say
mean?
that. But give us a little more information. What exactly does that mean? Because you said a lot just then.
Right. Right.
And it's not a bad thing. I understood. I interpreted a lot of it. But there are a couple of things I'm just like, what? What does that mean?
Yep. So let's,
So
make it more user-friendly.
Yes, please.
Okay.
For those of us and for those at the back of the room, yes, please.
Yes. Yes. So people often find me when they are dissatisfied with their lives.
Okay.
So that, I work with folks anywhere from, their 30s to their 60s.
Okay.
I mean, I hold space for anyone who is ready for this type of work. But it's people that are trying to make a transition in their lives, people that are ready to make some changes towards wellness, towards self-love. Sometimes people are just like, I don't know, I feel that vibe with you and I want to work with you. So sessions look like, generally we start with the physical body. What's going on in your body? What are some of these? I work with folks with chronic pain and chronic illness and mystery illnesses. So it's often physical manifestation of an emotional or traumatic energy that gets stuck in the body that they're like, I have these life patterns I'm looking to break. So they show up in my office. We do a pretty thorough life inventory. Where did the patterns start? What are your goals? We're very goal and goal oriented. And in that, we do body work. We do craniosacral therapy, which is balancing the nervous system, helping people regulate the nervous system, helping to draw the body's awareness to where there are restrictions. And so that will release issues in the tissues. There's other forms of body work and energy work that I add in. And in that, we kind of follow the trail of breadcrumbs that the body starts to release.
Okay.
Hopefully that explains it a bit.
It explains it, but we're going to talk a little more so that people get a full idea of what it all means when you put it all together.
For sure.
How long have you been doing this?
Oh, wow. So the body work, 18 years. Before that, I got my degree in psychology. So I've always been a caregiver, always helping, always focusing on mind, body, spirit. So I'd say the journey really started in college back in the late 90s. Okay. But the formal, this is what I do, the coaching, the one-on-one, the trauma work, anywhere from like 5 years to 6 years. Hard to say because it's been an art that's been perfected. But I've had my own practice for 5 years.
Okay. And who's your typical client? Who do you work with?
So I work with all bodies,
Okay.
and it's ideally folks that want to make the changes and are ready. Generally, there is history of trauma. So we work on empowerment and what it's like to feel better in their lives.
It is normal for someone to look or search for a dating coach.
Absolutely. I mean, and what is normal? I would look at it as like, what is normal? It's acceptable. It's absolutely acceptable. It's desirable. When folks are repeatedly getting into those same unhealthy or unproductive patterns in dating, why not look outside of yourself to find a coach? So I'd say that these days, absolutely, it's acceptable and normal to find a relationship and intimacy coach.
Now, where does a person start? They say, you know what, I'm not having any luck at this dating thing, or I want to get out there. I just don't know how. What's the inner dialogue? What's the conversation that you're having with people when they find you or when they decide to search and get to you? How does that conversation start?
They are looking for more fulfillment. The way to find an intimacy coach, I mean, nowadays you can just, Google. But I think most people will find folks like me on social media. So yeah, people will, usually for me personally, I am word of mouth referral, or it is just that energetic resonance.
Okay.
But I go to a lot of different events and gatherings, and it's usually through social conversations. Then people will check, my website or social media and see, wow, this person, specializes in what I'm working in or working through.
Now, okay, so I'm gonna dive in here. I am a relationship intimacy coach. Not that you didn't mention this specializing in helping people connect more deeply with themselves and with others. So when we started our day together here, one of the first things you mentioned to me was loving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, I thought, date yourself. What did you mean by that?
Date yourself, for sure. I mean, that is generally what it gets to, but we don't think about a lot of people don't think about taking themselves out on a date.
Right.
How do we know how we really want to or need to be treated by others unless we start giving that energy to ourselves? So sometimes the reason why people keep attracting less than ideal partners is because they don't love themselves fully.
Okay.
So we will address where those blockages came up. And then we get to a place where, through doing the work, the seeds of self-love are planted. And then I'll usually give them little tips like, have you ever gone to the movies by yourself? And some of them are like, oh my gosh, that would be horrifying. And so we work on getting to what types of dates for themselves, like going out by yourself with the intention of loving yourself, buying yourself flowers because flowers are awesome, or buying yourself something that is typically a gift from a romantic partner. Why don't a lot of people do that for themselves? We work with different affirmations, different intention statements, but why not love ourselves and take ourselves out on dates the way that we would love for other people to?
Okay, so I have to go here, and please know that this is not meant to be offensive, but my idea of dating is like Patty Stanger, or I'm trying to think. There's another gentleman with his mom, and they're dating coaches, and they take from reality TV. They take a bunch of people, singles, male and female, out to a bar, and then they watch them date and see what they do, and then they monitor them, or they'll do the whole, well, you got to wear an earpiece and let me hear what you're saying, and then they coach them as they're talking to people. So this is my idea. This is influenced. I'll be honest. So I'm hearing you talk, and I think to myself, somatic breathing. If I also understood you, inner child work. What does that have to do with anything? Why is it important? That's not important. I need some skills. Teach me how to date. Tell me what clothes to wear. What colors do I need to put on? Do I need to wear makeup? Should I get my hair done? Is that not important?
It all depends on the individual. I think that also as we get older, appearance is less important. I mean, and it's, some people, they look first for emotional connections, and then others, it's chemistry. So as far as, outward appearance, it's not as crucial to the picture as the inner work. And so the somatic breathing, we get nervous on dates. We may get nervous about intimacy as the relationship goes along. We may get dysregulated. Sometimes what we want in a relationship can actually be scary, or we get in a conflict with someone. But a lot of times, those initial, I'm going on a first date, it can be so scary. So the somatic breathing, different types of breath work, box breathing, 4, 7, 8 types breathing, like inhale to the count of 4, hold to the count of 7, exhale to the count of 8. It's important because if we're coming into a dating situation or a relationship with triggers, that's either going to push someone away, it's going to trigger conflict in the partnership or in the potential dating situation. So keeping ourselves regulated is important, and then addressing attachment issues. Oh, wow, attachment theory and attachment issues. But yeah, addressing those wounds in ourselves so we don't bring that baggage into each dating situation or relationship.
Okay, so now I'm going to back up. Attachment issues, what does that mean? What are they?
Right. So we all have different attachment styles about how we are in relationship. All relationships with others. This can be work relationships. This can be friendships. This absolutely shows up in romantic partnerships. So, going back to childhood, what were our primary dynamics with our caregivers, our siblings, our the situation in which we were brought up?
Mm-hmm.
So that will factor into energetic dynamics or power dynamics. There's, it can be summed up as secure attachment or insecure attachment. Secure attachment is I relate in a very healthy way with others and I deal with conflict as it comes up and don't internalize it.
Mm-hmm.
We all internalize to a degree.
I was going to say, okay.
We all internalize to a degree, but it
Yeah.
is compared to insecure attachment, which can be anxious attachment. I love this person, but I'm also afraid of this person. And as they draw closer to me, I want to push them away and run away. So there's a variety of different types of insecure attachment, but that's where, power dynamics, the energy of clinginess, but like, oh my gosh, this person doesn't love me. And these are things that will come up all the time, even when it's irrational, not founded in actual reality or truth.
What are some of your biggest challenges working with clients?
They don't want to change. They aren't ready to look at what they are contributing to a situation.
Okay.
So it's like running against a brick wall over and over.
So is it always the other person and not themselves? Or is it that they think it's fine, they just need, like we just talked about, I just need to know if I need to wear a dress or some pants and if I need to change my hair color? Is it more surface or for them versus going in deep? Let me ask the question.
Okay.
Do people really want to go in deep to date and get what they actually want? Because this is what we're really talking about, right? It's like, are you dating for fun? Like, are you really trying to find a partner, a lifelong partner, and live joyously? Or are you like, what are you finding?
Oh, yes. So the folks that are drawn to work with me just by the nature of my background and my other specialties,
Okay.
they are ready for deeper connection, conscious relating, asking for what they want, what they need, what they desire. It is a smaller percentage of people that are really ready for deeper connection. A lot of it is the superficial, chemistry driven. I'm really attracted to this person, although they're kind of a jerk. And people stay with that person because of the chemistry or the sex. And so a lot of people are just going through the motions and it's fear of loneliness. And so some people, it is the focus on appearance. Oh, I need to look good so I can keep this person with me or attracted to me.
There's so many. Okay, there's so many things here. I'm trying to. Okay, so it's my instinct. It's my feeling that one of the reasons why maybe you have a small percentage of people, besides the fact that people just don't know about you, because it feels like you're word of mouth. There are people already working with you, so they are open.
Yes.
Right, but it also feels as if you say to someone, well, why don't we take this direction or this avenue, and once they hear, I have to be open and vulnerable, I'll use the word vulnerable, then it's I don't want to do that because that's going to open up Pandora's boxes, some things I'm not really ready to kind of look at just yet. So it feels that people don't recognize that in order for them to have the dating life that they want means that they have to go inward a little bit. And it's my experience that a lot of people aren't ready to do that yet.
Absolutely. And I find that those are the people that actually don't seek out relationship and intimacy work. And so that's kind of why it is one of the things that's kind of an additional, as I work with people, sometimes people that come in, they are finding me just because they have migraines. And the more we work together, then all the other stuff comes out, which I'm sure that you're familiar with your clients as well.
I'm very familiar, which is how I've evolved to what I do now. what's your experience with? Do you find that women date differently than men?
Yes.
How so?
Uh, Women are more emotionally driven, connection, um, intuitive, more of I want something substantial, and sex isn't as important right away. Men are more chemistry driven, not all the time. These are just kind of broad generalizations of the majority of what I find, and then absolutely that there are exceptions to this. But from my experience, men are first more physically drawn to someone, and the physical component is what drives them the most, and more a lot of men aren't looking for that deep soul connection. Again, there are people that are, but women are more, I want a life partner. I want someone for the long term.
Right. Okay. So, would you say that dating is a skill?
Yes.
No, it can't be. It can't be. It can't be like finding a job or anything like that. Could it be?
Yes. Yes. The more skills we have, like it's amazing getting training for this because there's so many different theories and applications that can come into it. So in my community, we consider ourselves dating nerds. Also approaching dating as if you have a bad date, it's still a learning experience. Okay. So it can be a series of successive approximations until we get it right. This is what one of my coaches and mentors used to say to me, especially when my own dating life was just, why do I keep getting into the same crappy pattern? So it is a skill. We can learn from errors and mistakes, but then also with the skills that we impart in the people that come to us for help, yes, it's a skill. It can be an educational training. It doesn't need to be all, showing up for a date with your list of questions, which I have done before.
Okay.
But it is absolutely a skill.
All right. So now I'm putting my pen down because I'm about to get personal.
Yes.
So I am married now, and I married what I consider to be late in life. I was in my 40s when I married. So I've been married, and I'm going to age myself here, but I don't care. I'm going for it. I've been married 9 years now, right? And so I was one of those people who never enjoyed dating. Didn't like it, didn't love it. I could go without it. And a few times that I went out with people, they weren't horrible dates. And I say, honestly, a majority of the guys were good. Good guys. And when I say good, I mean they were good people and their intentions were good. I had one or two bad apples. And when I say bad, like one extreme from A to Z, let's go Z. And if there was a letter after Z, we could keep going.
Okay.
Right? However, I was raised with a parochial upbringing. I mean, my education from day one all the way through college was Catholic. It was all of it from beginning to end. So there is some cultural influence there, I must admit. I also come from a family that is religious, which is not a bad thing. So that's not why I'm bringing it up, but I'm just giving you backstory of who I am and where I've been and where I've come from. So I say that with regards to, did it have an influence on how I saw dating? Yes. I envied people who would go out on dates and they'd come back and they'd tell me everything they did and how much fun they had. And for me, it was always this anxiety-provoking situation. I'm like, oh no, I gotta go on a date. What if they want something from me? What if they want something from me? I'm not gonna give anything. Then what I'm gonna do? It was more me looking at myself and what I didn't have or what I liked, and I wasn't open. So I always went with this whole, I'm gonna say negative idea that maybe things aren't gonna go well or they're gonna want something, and then I would shut it down before I even gave it a chance.
Yes.
Right? So I'm speaking freely and honestly about it now because I'm older now. I can look back on it and I can see my behaviors, my patterns. I know where it comes from because, again, fast forward, certain things about myself I have chosen to heal and to work on, but that's a different show also. But I speak to this now because I want people to have joy and I want them to experience their lives. And I want people to be open to what they want, getting what they want, and not being afraid to ask for what they want. Because this time we have here on this planet, on this in this life, is short and it goes by so much faster than you think it will.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you want to be happy, if that's what you want, you got to speak up for what you want. Period.
Absolutely.
So I say all this to you with the question of how do you work around that, and how do you let people know, like, hey, I can help you, but I'm seeing a couple of things right now that could be holding you back. What if we looked at these areas and then bring you over here? Like, we're scratching the surface right now, but we might need to go just a little bit deeper. And guys, I'm gonna say this to you. I realize this is deep. You might want simple. I don't know. I don't want to make assumptions. But again, I'm at an age in my life right now where I'm just like, you know what? Get what you want. And so I bring this to you because I want you to have what you want. Life is too short. And yeah, sometimes we might have to dig a little bit deep. We might have to go some places we don't want to go within ourselves, but it's worth it in the end. And that's why I'm bringing it up. So, okay, now I go back to you. I'm sorry, I'm off my box right now.
I love it. It's great.
I'm off my box. Okay, so go for it. How do you say that to someone without shaking them? Like, hey, ding, 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 ding. There's this thing you might want to look at and work on because it might help you over here to get the guy you want or the girl you want or whomever it is that you're looking at. You know, it's not so black and white nowadays. It's gray. But how do you approach that?
We say it straight like that. You know, there are some things I'm noticing. And that's also the people that are drawn to work with me are drawn to that tactful bluntness of you're coming to me for help, and I really want to help you the best I can. And in that, we're going to address some blockages. And also part of why people work with me or find me because they know we're going to address those blockages. What can also be like the shadow traits of our personality, the things that we'd rather not look at. And so every now and then I get someone that when we get to that point of let's address the things in yourself that are prohibiting you from getting what you desire, some people don't come back. And that's okay. You know, religious and cultural background does factor into it. You know, I've worked with people that will self-identify as recovering Catholics.
Okay.
Because, yeah, the upbringing was very strict and rigid. And for some people, it was anti-sex, anti-dating, the way that they were brought up, that it's wrong or bad if we do this. So I do work with a lot of people with that background, and they're generally ready to learn additional tools and skills. But, yeah, we address it. You know, I say it straight out in that very tactful way of it's time to look at where those blockages are.
All right, so then let's go there then. How important is sex and dating nowadays?
For some, very important. I think that in the age group of 40s and above, because generally we've lived so much in our lives that we're like, wow, maybe I was more sex driven in my 30s, and gee whiz, how'd that work out for me? And then, you know, there's also other people that because they've been married for 30-something years, they got married to their high school sweetheart, and they've only ever had one partner, and then they hit their 40s. Well, sex is very important for them. So embracing a very sex-positive lifestyle, which also has to do with self-respect. Respect for others, you know, looking at like why we are having casual partners, if that is what people choose. So like that's where it's some people, if they've just been repeating the same patterns and it's just been casual sex all along, They may be looking for the deeper connection where sex isn't, in the top 5 most important things. So I think it varies by age group. It varies by life situation. But some relationships that I've seen that are very successful are more of a heart-centered and intellectual, loving, and for them, sex isn't as important. So, yeah, many responses to that.
As we are starting to run low on time, my question to you is, how should people view dating? Like, should they take it seriously? Should they have fun with it? What type of attitude or mindset should someone have when it comes to dating?
Fun, playful, curious.
Okay.
When people date out of desperation, sometimes they settle. Like, woohoo, I wanted to date again, and I went on this first date. And then it was awful, but they don't want to go on date a different person because, oh my gosh, the nerves that came up with that first person. So playfulness and curiosity, and less of that, I hate being alone, so I need a person. We don't want to approach dating like that. If we are feeling that way of, I hate being alone and I need a person, that's where I will generally redirect it back to self-intimacy, self-love. Why do we feel like we need to depend on another person? But yeah, more excitement, less desperation.
Before we go, do you have one piece of advice that you could give our listeners before we go?
Love yourselves, date yourselves. Don't be afraid to break through social norms and follow your heart.
I love it. I want to thank you so much, Stephanie, for making time for us today. But before we sign off, I also want everyone to know that there actually is going to be a part 2 to this. We kept it pretty tame for this one, but the part 2 is it's a woman's world, right? And it's dating for women is basically what it's going to be. Sorry, guys. We're not intentionally leaving you out, really. But for this one, we're going to. So, everyone, that show is coming up. We're going to leave you. Stephanie, how can someone find you if they want to work with you, get in touch with you, have questions for you moving forward?
Right. Thank you. So my private practice is called Karmic Touch Healing Arts. And my Instagram is at Karmic Touch Healing. And then the website is www.karmictouchhealingarts.com.
This was awesome. I was gonna say lovely, but this was a little more than lovely. But everyone, you gotta stay tuned or come back and listen to our next one. Dating, again, it's a woman's world. We're gonna dig in a little bit deeper. We just scratched the surface on this one, but now get ready. We will kind of see you next time. This is Bear Speak. I'm your host, Laura Williamson, with our guest, Stephanie Brown. And yeah, we'll talk to you real soon. Thanks for joining us today.